Cruzo and Tonio Burton headed to next year's Olympia.
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
And we're back for another edition of Heavy Muscle Radio. I'm Dave Palumbo, joined by the technician, Chris Aceto, on this Monday afternoon. And what's up, Chris? What's going on?
I'm day one into recovery.
What are you recovering from?
The Olympia. Dave, I figured out this was my day because I was completely incoherent last week on the show.
Yeah.
In all wrap-ups, I was incoherent. I realized that you do the math. If you have 11 people in the show and it takes 10 minutes to leave your hotel room to get to their hotel room in the same hotel, and you spend 15 minutes in the room and then 10 more minutes to go to the next room, that's at least 30 minutes times 11.
And you go there every hour and on the hour. How do you actually do that?
3.5 hours, add in taking an Uber to Andrew Jack's, who wasn't in the hotel. So that's another hour and a half. So
let me ask you a question. Why wasn't Andrew Jack in the hotel?
I never had the time to think about it to ask that question. So that's 5 hours gone in a day to look at people once. 3 times a day, that's 15 hours minimum.
Crazy. Yeah, you were exhausted at that show.
And then I came home. Ramon had a ticket tape parade. Derek ran to the bank to deposit $600. When I pulled up, trash day is Monday. When I pulled up at my house at Monday morning at 3 a.m., the trash was not put out.
You want to hear something so crazy? The people are saying that Derek was faking something backstage so that he can go on last. And which is such BS. You know, I had brought up in the final wrap up to you when you went back. You didn't want to talk about it at the time because you were very emotional. But, you know, people are always making excuses about everything. You know, I talked to some pretty high up people who judge the show. And, you know, at the end of the day, the best bodybuilder wins. They can only judge what's up there. And no one's ever freaking happy. And it's always the people who are not at the show, sitting at home, who have their favorite guys that they want to win, and who make the worst decisions of all time. I implore you guys, if you're listening out there, they only judge what's up there. They don't have favorites. They judge who's the best. Derek was the best on that day, and everyone who was sitting in that front row with us agreed. There was not one person who didn't agree, who was sitting at the front row. The only people who disagreed were the guys putting pictures into ChatGPT. You notice that?
I would agree with you. I think that, I thought the judges got it right. I think that, if anything, all the HADI chatter, I think HADI, frankly, is, in my opinion, on a one-on-one call-out, he's kind of lucky to get by Andrew Jack.
Yeah, what people don't see, and I was arguing with some guy who was, I think, from Iran. He was messaging me on Instagram. I said, the guy looked 100 times better at night. I'll give you that. Okay, than he did at prejudging. But he's got one leg, his right leg, that is smaller than the other leg. And he's like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I'm sitting 15 feet from the guy, and every judge saw the same thing. I don't know what's going on. He's got a leg size discrepancy.
Well, outside of the leg size discrepancy, you know, the side shots, he's not more than 227, 229 in the lineup. And he didn't, to me, I mean, I don't want to rehash it, but I have no problem rehashing it. He didn't look big to me. He doesn't look big to me. I mean, his side chest, his back double's not that big. His side chest is not that big. His legs from the side are not that big. His side tricep, he's not that big.
Yeah,
It's
he
not
wasn't
a
as.
big, it's not a big show, but I'll say this, and I know you're going to agree with me.
Yeah.
I think if you go to prejudge and stand and relax in the lineup, who does Derek remind you of?
HADI.
No, who does Derek remind you of?
Standing relaxed.
Stand and relaxed.
Branch Warren.
Jay.
Well, he's short, so I don't really get Jay out of it.
I mean the width and the quads.
Oh well, he's very he's overwhelming. He doesn't have any weak body parts, and I think that's what people don't understand. He like when you look at his physique, you don't see gaps. Like, oh, he needs more here, or oh, he needs more there. He really doesn't have any weaknesses. You might not like the fact that he's not tall, okay? And I like the tall bodybuilders better, but you can't argue with the fact that the guy's complete, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're as Milos would say, he checks every box. You know, you quarter turn him to the first quarter turn to the right, and like the legs from the side,
right?
The pec fullness. Granted, he doesn't have like strided pecs, but on that first quarter turn, second quarter turn, you know, it's catch up for everybody. For it's catch up from there.
Yeah,
hasn't hit a pose yet.
Now, I will say this: so it seemed like the people who are HADI fans definitely wanted HADI. Okay, and look, it wasn't like a blowout; it was close. I mean, we're nitpicking here. I mean, like I said, Derek beat him by a little bit. Now, Andrew jacked is another whole story, because you sit at home and you watch pictures and video of Andrew, who's huge, who's wide, who's got a great waistline, who is in probably the best shape of his life. You can make an argument. I watched the video. I can make an argument for him winning the show. I said in person I can make an argument for him winning the show. Is he complete? Does he have some holes in his physique? Yeah, I think he still needs to bring up some body parts. But you could definitely make an argument for him winning the show, if that's what you want. But I don't think he's there yet. And the reason why I bring this up is that when you put his physique into like an AI analyzer, like these people putting it into ChatGPT, I understand why ChatGPT might pick Andrew. He's the biggest guy. His proportion is freaky. His conditioning is good, but it's not basing it on who the best bodybuilder was that particular day. And this is another thing that irks me about the ChatGPT thing. All the guys, when ChatGPT gets it right, and picks the winner, they're like, you see how accurate it is? And then when ChatGPT doesn't pick the winner, they say, you see, this guy should have won. ChatGPT said he should have won.
I'm gonna
you can't be right. Either it's always right or it's always wrong. If it's right sometimes, then that means it's not accurate as far as the way they judge shows.
I'm gonna put the people who use ChatGPT as a judging criteria. I'm gonna put their spouses in. And see if they pick the right spouse.
Exactly. Although that might be a better way to start doing marriages. Let you put all the potential women that you're attracted to into ChatGPT and let ChatGPT tell you who to go on the date with. Or you know what? That could be the new dating service. Forget it. You don't get to pick anymore. ChatGPT picks who you should go out with, right, Chris? By the way, you're meeting Jane Doe at the corner Starbucks at 5 o'clock on Friday morning.
Dave, you might be able to come up. That might be the best app ever.
Yeah, arranged marriages with ChatGPT. There you go. We got a great business model. So I'm sure someone will do it, steal my idea, but I'm not that interested in doing it. Did you see what the crap they give Nick Walker now? I really like, the more that people screw with him, the more I actually like Nick Walker. I got to tell you, I feel bad for him, to be honest with you.
All right,
let me pull this video up. These people can't stop breaking this poor guy's balls.
Professional athletes, especially professional bodybuilders,
yeah,
actually to defend Nick. they have the right to say whatever they want to fans.
Yeah.
Period. You know what? And if you're coming off a prejudging that you didn't like, the idea that you have to be fake, which means cordial or even nice to every single person who approaches you, is
Right.
it's stupid. And you know, in no other sport do you get access anyway to the athletes. You can't come off, you know, an NFL or, you know, game and run up to the quarterback and get to like interact with him 2 seconds after he fumbled and say something to him and expect him to like be on his best off-season 500 carb slice of pizza menu and be nice to you.
No.
So whether he said it or not, it's his right to interact with fans with whatever demeanor he chooses. So I would defend him. I know you're going to defend him and say you don't believe that he said it.
No, because
I'm going to pick the worst, actually. And HADI did say it. You know what? He's in his own right to feel the way he wants to feel at any point in time of a weekend that's so important like this.
Let me play the clip. Here.
So I make this clarification for the rumor that's been going around on Instagram. I have not told any fan of mine to fuck off. I would never in my life tell a fan to fuck off. I may, if I'm training, possibly, I may have said, not right now, maybe wait till I'm done training for a picture, which no one ever seemed to have an issue with. And second, as far as the whole middle finger business goes, at the meet and greet, I probably took 1 million photos with fans giving the middle finger. So, with all these stupid rumors going around, never happened.
I believe him.
Case closed.
You know what it is? They want to try to paint him now as like the sore loser, but he's not a sore loser. And you know what, Nick? Tell these people, like you said, go F yourself. You know what? Because they're trying to like portray you a certain way. And the bottom line is, look, I'm sure you're not happy with your placing. I wouldn't be either. You know, you came there to win. But you know what? I know that you're not disrespecting anyone. That's not in your character. Your parents, it's not your parents are good people. I know they instilled great morals on you, and I've seen you in action. Don't let these guys. It didn't even warrant you even responding. But you know what? I'm glad you did anyway. So
let's cancel him, David.
No, it's crazy. People are nuts. You know, they're nuts. They really are. But that's show business, right? Did you? I gotta bring this dude up, Chris, just because you know we love him. The little short guy who turned pro.
Yeah, he looks like a little NASA dusting off that quad. Look at this.
He's like under 4 feet. This guy's like 3 foot something or another. I love this guy. We've shown him before on the show. The guy, he really has good symmetry too.
Yeah, here, watch out. He looks like NASA right there. Same quad.
This guy's the greatest. Congratulations, man. It couldn't have happened to a better guy, man. Mazel tough, as they say. Look, you know what? It just goes to show you. I'm sure when he told people that he was going to be a bodybuilder, right? A pro bodybuilder, they probably told me he was out of his mind. The guy's 3'6" or something like that, right? Look, he proved everyone wrong. I love guys that do that. Well, Bob probably would have seen it in him. Bob would have been like, you could be a good 212 guy. He's 3'6" and he's like 86 pounds. Bob's like, I see the structure. He's got good shoulders.
What is his weight? Dave? Do you know his real weight?
I don't know. He's got to be under 140, I would imagine, right? At 3'6".
I don't know. I would have no idea. I mean, like,
I gotta try to find it. Let me see. Hold on. I don't know. I should have. I'm not doing my diligence. I got stuff to do. All right. Well, so we go from 3'6", 120 pounds to Samson Dowda, who is going to be doing the Prague Pro next week. Hold on. and he says he's up to 300 pounds. He said he grows real fast. What's your take on his 300 pounds he's presenting here?
He looks 300 pounds. Great.
Better than the Olympia? Has he put muscle back on, or are we just seeing a fuller version of what he was at the Olympia?
It's a fuller version that you saw at the Olympia.
Yeah, I don't think he's added back any muscle. I think he filled out a little bit. Is this going to make up for the lack of? Because I think his back is down in size. You know, he looks better from the front, obviously, but is this enough to win in Prague?
These shows are so competitive. I would say yes, but there's no slam dunk whatsoever at all.
I mean, the back is where I think his conditioning looks better. You know,
I don't know who's doing the show. The guy from Brazil may jump into it.
That little short guy might jump into it.
His quads, the NASA quads. It's hard, Dave. As we know, it was ad nauseum. I said running into the Olympia when you had asked me, like, I didn't honestly know how the show would go until I saw everyone on stage. In other words, everyone looks like the winner, 1, 2, 3, and 4 by themselves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he came in fourth here at the Olympia. So, I mean, who's in the show that he didn't beat already?
Yeah. So, I mean, he's obviously the strong favorite.
Yeah. Why isn't Nick Walker competing at any of these post-Olympia shows?
Because Nick is, analytical. He's he doesn't want to. He wants to mind-blowing best, and you better than the Olympia for sure.
I don't think he looked bad at the Olympia. I just think the guys were just really good at the Olympia.
He was off at the prejudging, and there was no way he had any. He was going to get a, move up too much higher than he moved up in five. And he was still 6. I mean, 5th was Martin Fitzwater at his all-time best.
Right.
That was Martin's best by a mile.
Is Martin slated to do Prague?
I believe he is.
Yeah, so that should be a good battle.
2 different type of physiques,
Yeah.
A power physique in Samson versus lack of flaw physiques in Martin.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Martin's going to have a tough time getting by Samson. Samson looks... So you know what the problem is? Samson looks better when he's not on stage. When in these Instagram videos, he always looks great. I think he should do nothing. He should just come in as is. He should wake up in the morning like it's just another day at the gym. He probably should train right up until the day before the show and just show up at the show. I bet it'll probably look better. Before we talk about the Mexico show and the British Grand Prix, which took place this past week. By the way, Nick Walker, I just said it before, but Nick Walker, you should have done these shows, one of these shows, these Mexico show or the British Grand Prix. You would have qualified for next year. You would have ended the year on a win. It would have been a solid mental. I know Cedric never believed in momentum, but it would have definitely given Nick some momentum, getting out of it, finishing off the year, I think. Big mistake. I think Nick easily would have won both of those shows, and it is what it is. All right, I want to just talk about, before we go to the 2 shows that took place, do you remember the Bob Beeman, who has the world record for the long jump?
Of course.
Okay. It's the longest standing record, I believe, in track and field at this point. And let me show it to you. Hold on. It just popped up on my timeline the other day. Here we go. 1968, the year where I was born. He set this record, so it's 57 years old. And it's crazy. 57-year-old record.
Winstrol, Carl Lewis couldn't beat it.
No. 8.9 meters. It's insane. But the story about Bob Beeman, and that's why I'm bringing it up, is that Bob Beeman went to high school at Jamaica High School in Queens. My father used to teach there. My father taught him, and I think it was the first year my father was teaching or something like that. There, or the second year or something like that. And Bob Beamon was like from a very, poor family. And I guess they were integrating, they were trying to, he wanted to go to that school because he knew it was a better school. They had a great track coach there who went on to coach track in college. And he had to talk his way into the school. And there was actually a meeting he had with the principal where the principal's like, if you cause any trouble, gave him one of those speeches. There was no black people in Jamaica High School. Matter of fact, I lived in Jamaica Estates at the time. I was born there. And my father used to walk to work across the street. And then the neighborhood started getting, bad. And then, my parents wanted the American dream, right? Move out to the suburbs, which was death to my father, right? And then my father had to commute for the next 35 years to Jamaica, Queens. But Bob Beamon went to the school. My father taught him. My father said the kid was a good kid, and he gave him a lot of pep talks and stuff like that. And he knew he was going to do something great. He was a great athlete. He played basketball too, I think, and ran track. And obviously was a long jumper. And he set that world record 57 years ago. It's the same. The record is just as old as I am. It's crazy. It's the longest lasting record of all time. And it popped up in my timeline. I just said, you know what? Made me remember my father telling me stories about Bob Beamon. So there you go. Little trivia fact of the day. Let's talk Mexico first. Tonio Burton wins in Mexico. Did you look at the pictures?
I did not.
Okay. Well, I'll pull them up for you. Hold on. Well, again.
I think the show went late. I didn't get.
Yeah, we did go late, and I don't even think we have that many pictures, to be honest with you. He looked great, obviously. I thought Tonio could have been higher at the Olympia. He looked great. And this was a great opportunity for him, obviously, doing Mexico, qualifying for next year. What would you like to see Tonio do to his physique to move into that top 6? Does he have the ability to do that?
Yes, he does.
What does he need to do in your mind?
He needs to continue to do what he's been doing for the last 3 years, because out of everyone, he's been the most consistent person in improving step by step, little by little. And when Antonio Burton was first he did 1 through 12 Olympia, and he didn't make top 10. And when he came out, I thought, okay, he's going to be in the running for top 3. And he didn't even make the first call up, which was a little strange. I think a lot of it was his presentation or fidgety on stage. But I thought he'd be a 212 winner for sure. And here he is. I mean, how many times have I talked about people who have won 212 shows, graduating and winning open shows? So I don't think he has flaws. I think that it's no surprise that he won the show. And I think that he is on the cusp of first call out at the Olympia.
I happen to agree with you. Everything you said, I think that's true.
Out of everyone who was judged in the Olympia, he was the best judged person because he was second call out, second call out had good veto in the middle. And they had him on the edge over, and they hit some poses, and they wanted to work himself into the position that he finished. And so they let his physique speak for itself. He didn't improve during prejudging. What happened was, in the call-outs, you see him on the end and say, well, you know what? He deserves to be a little bit closer to the middle. And then you'd see him right next to someone and you'd say, you know what? He's better than this guy.
Regan in the middle looks a lot tighter than he did at the Olympia. Matter of fact, at the Olympia, his face was so puffy. He looked like he had just eaten about a pizza pie. He's super dry here. Clarita's obviously looks as good as he did at the Olympia. Still, battling with that little bit of that bulge at the bottom of his waist. It's not helping his symmetry. Obviously, he's got his work cut out here. These guys are, a lot bigger than him. What wins it? What clinches this for Tonio over Regan? Because I thought Regan looked really good too.
I can't tell from this video.
It's hard. The video's not that great.
But I would say that Antonio's got better quads, and Antonio's got a better side. Really complete, really good, strong money shot for him. I'd be interested to see what the score sheets showed.
It was unanimous, but
Yeah.
let's look at Regan here. I thought Regan was really good. Yeah, Regan got straight seconds, Clarita straight thirds, and Antonio straight first.
Then it came down to all of, because
I know Dom Super Sliced, I think, worked with Regan, but
Antonio's super sharp.
yeah, well, I think Antonio just has a better structure than Regan. Regan's big though, and he's got a lot of muscle. His conditioning was, like I said, night and day compared to the Olympia. So I think this was a good way for him. I don't know if he's done for the year or he's going to do another show, but this was definitely a better end of the year for him than the Olympia. Literally, when I saw him on stage at the Olympia, his face was so puffy that I knew he was holding an enormous amount of fluid, which is hard to do in Vegas because Vegas is, I mean, it was so dry. You couldn't speak and I couldn't speak because your throat is so dry that there's no moisture. I don't even know how you hold water in Vegas. So maybe he just had some kind of a rebound or something. I don't know. Something wasn't right in Vegas, but he definitely nailed it here, and he's dry. But I guess, I think Tonio's got better quality than him. That's all. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
Antonio's got exceptional quality.
Once again, I don't like to judge shows from video and stuff like that because it doesn't tell the whole story. Here's Sean Clarita. What did you think about the Clarita Keon decision? I don't think I ever asked you about that.
Well, I didn't go to the show, but of course, what surprised me, like everyone else, is that Clarita was bigger than ever by a lot. And that, what sheets at the Olympia did? Was it straight ones?
I think Keon won straight ones, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly gave Keon a run, in terms of, he just looked phenomenal at the Olympia. Sean Clarita looked phenomenal at the Olympia. Just fully explosive, full, super condition. And he was going up against, of course, Keon, which, his shape is phenomenal. Not that Sean was off. And that was, Keon was in great condition as well.
I mean, the only thing Keon's got that's a little messed up, and someone sent me this thing. It's amazing how these internet guys analyze every little angle, and they're complaining because he's got that abdominal diastasis going on, where Phil Heath had that too, where that linea alba in the middle is kind of overstretched out, probably because he's got to eat so much food, and as you get bigger, it happens. There's nothing you can do. It's like almost like what happens to a pregnant woman.
I think the surprising thing of Keon was that on the back shot, he didn't look like people expected him to look. I mean, he looked so wacky. He looked like take out everyone in bodybuilding on the back double running into the show, and I think he shot to clear.
Well, I think the Instagram pictures hurt him. That's why.
Well, they set an expectation of like unworldly.
No, it's true.
On stage, and it's like, what happened to the pictures that we were expecting?
The only person I've ever seen, Chris, who looked as wacky as his pictures, okay, is Ronnie Coleman. Right? When Ronnie in person on stage at 300 pounds, when he pulled his arms back and hit the back double, the detail in his lower back and his Christmas tree were better than any filter you could possibly put on him.
Yeah.
A filter couldn't make him look any better. That's how good he looked, matter of fact. But yeah, sometimes if you make yourself look better on Instagram, it's actually not working to your advantage. It's working to your disadvantage, because then people are disappointed with your conditioning because they're judging you against that look that they saw on Instagram rather than what your personal best is. So, I don't know. What did you think about this? Did I ask you about the whole Sarah Villegas thing? Versus,
No.
Sarah Villegas put some stuff online about the fact that she felt that Natalia Coelho beat her because she was loaded up, jimmied up, as you like to say. And I don't think anyone really sees it. I didn't see it. I thought she was being a little bit of a sore loser, and I like her physique a lot. I just thought she wasn't the best she'd been. I'm surprised because she is she's a future, she's been a champ. She's lost to Natalia in the past because her conditioning was less than stellar. And then she, here, let me pull this thing. I'm shocked she did it. It seems just like sour grapes to me.
Maybe they can do a Phil versus Kai next year, and they can battle it out almost on stage.
Yeah, well, I think they've been doing this over the last couple of years, but she's making
good prelude to next year's press conference when
you're right, they can go at it.
Start up with.
Yeah, the press conference next year.
It was a mistake to say, but it will add, regardless, some punch to the press conference.
Yeah. Well, you got her versus Natalia. You got Ollie versus the whole men's physique lineup.
You got HADI's fans versus the world.
Exactly. I will say this. I think that the winner in my mind, the winner coming out of the Olympia, as far as going into next year's Olympia, I think Andrew's the winner, and I'll tell you why. Because Andrew, no one expected Andrew to be as good as he was, except you, because you were sending me pictures, and Andrew now has a lot of momentum behind him in the sense that people think that this guy can be Mr. Olympia now, because some people felt he should have won the Olympia. ChatGPT did, obviously. Like that means doesn't really mean much. But my point is that, people now are excited to see what he can bring next year that, might propel him into that number one spot. Because let's face it, we all want a big freaky Mr. Olympia in there, You and I, we love Derek. I love Derek. Matter of fact, I told you the story about his father came up to me. I didn't know it was his father. He said, "Who do you think's going to win the Olympia?" I said, "Derek." He goes, "Good, because I'm his father." But so I wanted Derek to win. But when we see a physique like Andrew, once he can achieve, if he can, the level of completeness to his physique with that, beautiful structure, with all that muscle, with the conditioning that he's been able to bring now. I mean, he could seriously be a Mr. Olympia that could reign for a couple of years. And we haven't seen that in quite some time. Every year, the Olympia's been trading off. One guy wins one year, the next year, the next guy wins, and this guy wins. So my win for the weekend is I really believe that Andrew Jack came out as the winner this weekend. What do you think?
I spoke to Sam Altman this morning, the creator of ChatGPT, and Sam had his price and his podcast. So wait.
Yeah, but I mean, right? I mean, Andrew's got coming out this weekend with a lot of hype. He impressed a lot of people, including the judges, and people see him as potential, next Mr. Olympia. I mean, that's about as good as you can get. I mean, right? I mean, a lot of people coming out of the weekend, not huge fans of Derek, but happy he won, knowing he was the most complete guy. But I don't think anyone's saying, well, what could Derek do now with his physique? I don't know if Derek's physique can go to another level at this point. What do you think?
I think with Derek, you can't ever count him out because he was counted out last year and on the floor.
Right. Well, he can win, but I'm just saying, can he get better?
I think he can get better. I'm not sure. I think it's refinement. I think that he can still grow. He'll get a little bit bigger. But with regards to Andrew, I mean, it's what he decided to do with it going forward. This conversation was brought up after the Texas Pro 2 years in a row.
Right.
He had two bad Olympia showings in a row. So, yeah. I mean, I think he's found the solution to, how to. I think he's got some different tools, going forward that he may not have He's got glute development now, where prior he had small glutes.
Yeah, and they got huge. They're like, oh, sorry, they're like Ronnie Coleman. We're talking about him next. They're like Ronnie Coleman glutes now. So he obviously is still improving, Chris. You know, it's amazing at his age that he's improving. But if people forget, Ronnie Coleman was improving till all the way to 42 because he got a late start as well, and he was all natural when he started. So Andrew got a very late start. I mean, Andrew's only been doing this for what, 5 years, maybe?
Yeah, you know what's so funny, David? We did an interview backstage after the Arnold, and you said to Derek, "You're going to win the Olympia," and you had asked me, and I said, "Well, there's 3 people for sure who can win the Olympia. You know, Derek, HADI, and Samson." And I said, because they have won the Olympia. And then I threw in Andrew.
Yeah.
And then I paused, actually, and I threw in at the end, I said it'll be more challenging, but Nick Walker.
Right.
5. And, you know, Martin's kind of sort of has to be in the discussion, but it's like a Nick. It's harder for Nick and Martin to win than it is for Derek, Sampson, Adi, and say, I think Andrew.
Yeah. Well, there's superior genetics there when we talk about Andrew.
There's superior, and 3 of those people.
Derek, yeah.
You know, one of them won twice now.
I mean, Derek's width to waist ratio at his height it's almost like cartoonish. Like no human being that tall should be that wide, right? With a waist that tiny. It's freakish, right? It's not. I mean, we always thought HADI was freakish. Derek's wider, you know. He's really freakish when you think about it. That's not a normal proportion. You know, most guys his height are way, way, way more narrow. And I'm talking about before you even add any muscle to his body. It's just his bone structure is freakish.
Oh, I don't think if you factor in the Arnold and the Olympia, I don't think he has gotten, not the word's not credit, but his quads have come up since last year and the year before and the year before at least 2 inches.
Yeah. Since the Olympia, for sure, Chris, for sure.
That's when he won the Olympia. You look at the quads when he won the Olympia, they were straight down. They were detailed, but they were pretty much straight up and down. I mean, he'd get like a fake sweep out of them, but now the sweep is insane. So, I mean, that's why I said it. You know, you reminded me of Jay in terms of the width and the quads. You know, Jay standing relaxed in the lineup, he had colossal quads and crazy width.
But Derek's waist is way tinier than Jay's was. You know.
Well, he can pull a vacuum in the lineup.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing that I think a lot of people are not giving Derek credit for is the guy did 3 shows separated throughout the entire year. It's almost listen. I thought his best might have been at the Arnold. He was the biggest here at the Olympia for sure. But the fact that he was able to peak 3 times and peak enough to win all 3 shows against really good lineups, because every one of those shows had good lineups, is a testament to how good he is. I mean, and you know what? If he did 1 show, you know, maybe his condition would have been perfect and everyone would have said, wow, he easily won this Olympia. But he did 3 freaking shows in 2025. No one has ever done this in the history of the sport and won 3 major shows like that, ever. And it may never be done again. I mean, although that Shohei Ohtani, did you see that? What he did? He pitched the game. He struck out 10 guys and he hit 3 home runs in the game.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, that might be the greatest baseball display of baseball of all time. So Derek Lunsford in bodybuilding, Shohei Ohtani in baseball. It's crazy.
Which look did you prefer, the Arnold or the Olympia?
I thought he was more polished at the Arnold,
Yes,
but I think it's because his body was more rested. I think he was a little more tired here, but he was huge. He was very big at the Olympia. I think if he hadn't come in big at the Olympia, he might have lost because I think HADI might have taken him out. And I think whatever you guys did strategy wise for the Olympia worked. Whatever you did for Pittsburgh to get him over that hump to beat Nick Walker worked. Because at the end of the day, he won, So, and obviously the Arnold was spectacular, but that was, he was looking for retribution for that Olympia. So he was a man possessed for the Arnold.
Whose fans are more vocal? Nick Walker's in Pittsburgh or Hadi's at the Olympia?
Who's what?
Whose fans are more vocal? Hadi's at the Olympia? Nick Walker's in Pittsburgh.
I think Hadi's are, but because Nick Walker's fans, they backed away. All of a sudden, now they're not his fans anymore. Hadi's fans are very, very loyal to him. Whether he looks good, whether he places well or not, they don't care. They're always there. Nick Walker's are fine feathered friends, as my father would say. When he's doing well, they're all behind him. When he's not doing well, they're cursing him out for not forgiving him, saying he cursed them out with the finger. Right? So great fans he's got. The only one who won on the Nick Walker thing was Bob Ciccarello, unfortunately. Bob was right, He didn't make the top 6. And it wasn't because I don't think, what Bob was basically trying to do was say, listen, if everyone comes in shape, Nick Walker has a tough time winning, making top 6. If guys are off, which is usually what happens, Nick Walker has a very good chance of doing very well because he's got a lot of muscle and he's got a lot of conditioning. And I think it was misconstrued, and then Nick got pissed off, and then once he got Bob pissed off, Bob started running his mouth too much, and then it got turned nasty. But really, it wasn't really a knock against Nick. He was just trying to analyze the lineup initially, I think, and then it obviously got disrespectful at some point. But once again, Nick does well when he's counted out. It almost, how like they used to say Jordan. You don't want to make Jordan mad. Michael Jordan, guys would be afraid to talk to Jordan because if they didn't want to get him upset, because if they got him upset, the guy would fucking sink you. He would hit you for 50 or 60 points, If he was calm, then he might only hit you for 30 or 40 points, So no one wanted to talk to him during the game. Even the opposing coaches wouldn't say anything to him. Nick Walker's the same way. You don't want to get Nick mad because when Nick gets mad, he seems to come back better and does damage. I think it was a mistake for him not to hit these 2 shows, but it is what it is. What did you think of Michael Krizo winning the? Well, let me just, before I do that, let me just give some credit to Rough Diesel here. Rough Diesel wins in Brazil, requalifies for next year's Olympia. We knew that was a foregone conclusion, right?
Out of all the slam dunks for the weekend, that would have been for slam dunk. He's got a tremendous physique.
Yeah, he's great. Love his physique. All right, let me pull up the let's pull up Krizo. Did you agree with this decision? I know you helped Sass. How many seconds has Sass gotten now?
Sass got 2 firsts, 4 seconds, a 5th, and did the Olympia. So 2 seconds. I just came from parent-teacher conferences. Let me do the math, Dave.
You better use the right math system when you do that math.
He did 8 shows.
What won it for Krizo? Just size?
His arms.
Yeah, he doesn't have much of a back, but he's got good chest, shoulders, arms. Yeah.
Front double is just, it's those arms, dude, are just unimaginably big.
Yeah. He's got conditioning, he finally, it looks like he got a tan that worked for him this time because he usually has no tan.
Yeah, he usually has the worst tan in the IFBB.
Yeah. By the way, I hate the way he hits this ab shot. It makes him look so narrow, Krizo.
He looks blocky in it, and he's not blocky. It's weird the way
he's not a good poser. He really needs work on his presentation. A lot of work. I know I've heard judges say that to him too. They said if he just presented himself better, he'd probably, be a lot of places higher at the Olympia. So what does Sass do? Is he going to hit another show?
I think he is probably after. shows done for the year.
Are you do Prague? Okay.
I don't know. I haven't spoken with him, but you know, who knows? He may text me today and say, "How about another show?"
he's the. How many has he done this year total?
Eight.
Oh my god, that's like me. That's bordering on Milos Sarshev territory right there. Right.
Late of him. I mean, he needs some type of, when we do the end of the year RX Muscle Awards. Person, he's going to win some type of award. The RX Perseverance and Consistency Award.
I have to agree with that. So let's see. So Crizzo wins straight unanimous first, Sass second, Joan Prodelis Martinez third from Spain, and Pablo Munez from Spain fourth. Fifth place, James Hollingshead. What's going on with Hollingshead? I like him. He's a great guy. He works hard. He's puts out a lot of great content on Instagram. He's a guy who always make money in the business. I just don't think structurally he's gonna be winning any major shows unless he really picks a show and the lineup's weak. He obviously brings a lot of muscle and a lot of conditioning, but he's just structurally not as good as some of these guys, and that's. I mean, he shouldn't be losing to some of these these Spanish guys, but I think he's just not structurally as good as some of these other competitors. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, he just needs to be peeled out of his.
Yeah. He's like Nick Walker. He needs to come in big and freaky. That's it. Don't worry about shape and structure at this point. You got to outmass these guys. That's it. Congratulations to Michael Crizzo, requalifying for the Olympia.
Amazing. We're a week after a show.
I can't believe how many.
We're a week after next year's Olympia. Who's qualified for it? Crizzo, Antonio, Rough Diesel.
Yeah. There's Hollingshead right there.
There's a slew of shows coming up.
I know. It's great. I actually like the fact that we were back to having like a little post-Olympia Grand Prix like we used to have back in the day. Let's see what's on the schedule here. So we have Poland. Prague next week.
I think we have Poland. There's a Polish.
We have a Polish Pro the week after that, November 1st through the 2nd in Warsaw, Poland. Robert Pietrkovich is promoting that. Did you know that?
Yeah, you love that you can pronounce that name, Dave.
Yeah. There's a French. That's a natural pro. Your son could do that one in Marseille, France. Ron Hayes is running that one from Canada. Romania Muscle Fest is November 8th and 9th. Bucharest, Romania. It's a Wings of Strength show. You can do that. Then you got this is Masters, Ben Weider Naturals, Portugal. There's a lot of Naturals Pro shows this year. I can't believe it. Japan Pro, November 24th.
I think
Takayuki Shoji is promoting that one. And then you get the Big Man Spain Pro, which is the last show of the year in Alicante, Spain. That's on November 29th through the 30th. So, guys, no excuses why you shouldn't be requalifying. Nick Walker, if you're listening to me, get out to Europe and compete. Get the qualification for next year. I know you're probably going to do the Arnold, but you know what? Just end the year on a positive note. I'm telling you, it's good for your psyche, and you have all the muscle and conditioning you need. You don't need to do anything. Just show up. I think it's a big mistake. Do you think that if you're advising Nick Walker, would you tell him to compete?
On paper, yes, but Dave.
Sometimes you need a win, Chris, to get you in the right mental state.
I know you do, but what I realized the last 3 years in coaching is that everybody's mindset is different. You operate from a Guy Sistanino mindset, which is do every single show, no matter what, and tell every fan to go F off. That's you, that's Guy. To some small degree, that's you and Guy, and that's the ultimate mindset. Everyone's different, and you in this sport at this level, I've realized this. It's a cliche, and people see it as a weakness, but you have to have your own mind straight, no matter what that means to you, to be able to compete in another show. And it's easy to be on the outside and look in and say, just do the show, just do the show, just do the show. But if you're not mentally ready, and if you're not mentally ready, you can't be ready on the inside. So it becomes this like fraudulent effort. And it's just like a makeup show. It's like, let me just, it's like making an apology where you don't really feel like you should be apologizing to someone. And it's not authentic, and your body won't go where you want it to go. And everyone's different. And so I would say, yeah, do a show, but it really depends on the person.
Because theoretically, he could go and do the Arnold, which obviously is $750,000. I think everyone and their mother's going to be jumping in that show, right? So, but he also is going to be going up against the Olympia lineup again. So it could make it worse for him mentally if he doesn't do well, is what I'm thinking. And
the bigger question, not the bigger question, Dave, but a question going forward is, who skips the Arnold at that?
If I'm top 4 at the Olympia, I'm doing that Arnold, right?
You have to sit back if you're top 4 and say, if I don't do it, so-and-so is going to win it, and that's my money.
Right. And
like,
Derek's...
I could be in the mix to win that show, and if I sit out, like, not only that person going to win the title, but they're going to get the money. I've never, ever thought, like, for a bodybuilder, like, do a show because of money. But in this case, if you have the chance to win it,
yeah, it's
getting to the point where you have to do all the shows because
right.
Pittsburgh is 100. How do you? It's hard to skip that because
right. Dubai is 150 or whatever it is.
It could be like this. You go to the Arnold, you get first, second, or third, and then the guys who get first, second, third say, I'm too tired to do Pittsburgh, and then there's like so-and-so wins it and gets 100, and you're like, wow, that's a good pay. And nobody, and the guy who got first and second didn't do it.
Derek's took all the money from last year, essentially. Aside from the Dubai show, he took all the money, for all the top money.
Who's that?
Derek. He has it all in his bank.
How much was Dubai?
I think it was 140 this past year.
I'm surprised he didn't do it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If it wasn't in Dubai, he probably would have done it. No, but the point is, you're right. How does Derek say, I don't want to make $750,000? I'm the number one guy in the world right now. No one's beaten me in the 3 top shows from 2025. How do I not do the Arnold and try to win that? Why can't I win it? I've already beat everyone, But, holy shit, hold on. What the heck happened? What happened to me here?
I don't know. You went into a portal out to Dubai.
I got too excited about what was going on. And hold on. Let me get back to my good camera. There we go. But yeah, I don't know how Derek can say no to that. And I know Samson loves money too, so Samson ain't saying no to that. And I don't know if HADI will do it, but he might as well throw his hat in the ring. He was one click away from winning the Olympia, right? And what about Andrew? Have you talked to him about that?
He's doing the Arnold.
He is. Okay. Arnold would love to see Andrew win that show. That's an Arnold physique, right?
Yeah, it's.
It's like Cedric winning,
Yeah, he told me he was going to do it running into the Olympia. That he was going to do the Arnold. So
right. I think that's a good idea. So we could have a rematch of the Olympia at the Arnold this year, easily.
Well, you know what, Dave, is what's great about the sport right now is if you have a rematch of the Olympia, you know what you also have? You have the same exact judges, and it will not go the same exact way.
No. It's who's ever the best guy up there.
It's just that's how incredibly competitive the Olympia is, the Arnold, all the shows. I mean, there's just you know, you can make predictions. You asked me like how many shows running into the show, make a prediction. I'm like, I can't. And I knew in my gut, I thought it would come down to Derek and Andrew, but I didn't really know how they were going to look on stage,
right,
next to Samson and HADI and Nick and Martin. So, you know, rather than look like an idiot, which was truthful. Predictions are just predictions, you know. How did the guy do who called the Olympia last year? How did he do this year? Remember the guy who won the award on RX Muscle for getting the place?
Oh, I don't know. We didn't do the contest this year, so I don't know.
Because if he was just a disaster, I would say, he just was lucky.
Well, this would have been an easier Olympia to predict than I think last year would have been. But you know, let me ask you a question. I know the answer. If I ask Ronnie Coleman, you know, with the money they're giving out now, would you have done Arnold and Olympia, you know, every year? He would have definitely done it because Ronnie likes money too.
I know what you're going to ask me, so the answer is yes. Go ahead.
Well, you don't know the order I'm going to ask you it, okay? Phil Heath, yes, for sure, right? Phil would have gone for the money. What about Jay? Jay didn't need the money. Would Jay have gone for the money? Oop.
I thought you were going to ask me about Jay, and I would have said yes.
Well, so you say he would have gone for the money. Jay definitely would have gone for $750. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
He went for 100 3 years in a row. When 100.
No, but then he stopped, is what I'm saying. So now, would he have stopped if Arnold raised the prize money up to $750? Would he have gone back and done the Arnold?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask him that when I see him.
Yeah, ask him. Right. If the prize money was like, yes, I would be shocked that he would say no, even though I know, you know, he won 3 straight Arnolds, and at that point, he wasn't interested in the title or the money. He just wanted to get the Olympias, which is
right.
But he did do it 3 years in a row.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm losing my camera again.
That's okay. You still sound good, Dave. You don't have that.
Holy shit.
People are doing cardio and listening to you, Dave. They're not looking at your face.
Yeah, they don't want to see my ugly face anyway, so who cares?
You have 2 cameras there, both are not functioning properly.
Yeah. You know what? I get so excited I kick the cord out. I think that's what I'm doing. But it's like kicking the can, except I'm kicking the cord. I think that the point we're making is that with the money the way it is, and if it keeps going up the way it's been going up, although Jake didn't raise the Olympia money, but he might raise it for Arnold's prize money went up for 26. It didn't go up for 25. So let's see what Jake does in 26. Now that they're moving the Olympia to the Orleans Arena and the host hotel is going to the Palms, there's more money might be available. I think that Jake will raise the prize money. Maybe he'll make it $1 million this year. Who knows?
Yeah.
Given the fact that we have this much prize money, I think we're going to see a lot better quality competitor competing at these bigger shows more frequently. Because we were always saying, well, we really want these guys to compete more frequently. Well, you said it. Oh, here we go again with the thing. You said it. Why not raise the prize money and then you'll see people competing? And you were right. You were 100% right. I got to give you credit. I didn't really believe it, but you were right. They raised the prize money and now people are competing 2 shows, 3 shows a year. So people got what they wanted by raising the prize money.
I think if Dubai goes to 225, everybody travels
right?
Dubai, almost everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pre-Olympia show. I mean, it's only, 6 weeks before the Olympia, and I think they're making the Olympia earlier this year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Next year, I mean.
Yes.
26.
I believe it's early. I don't know for sure.
They're moving it up. I think they were moving it up a month into September. So.
Yeah.
So that would really make people want to do Dubai. And maybe that's why they're doing it, to make Dubai a bigger show, right? Right near the Olympia?
It's you know, I think personally it's amazing that the your money's, you know, for the top 3 guys, you know, is so good.
Yeah.
It's incredible, but even 1, 2, 3, it's really good.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, Chris. My computer's acting. I think my
It's
computer
okay.
is trying to. My computer is trying to tell me, listen, buddy, you got a very important appointment to go to, and you better get your ass out of here. You're going to miss this appointment. So I'll leave you with this. Congratulations.
I know you have Dave, I know you have an important appointment. I know what it is about. I want to know if Chat GTP that you're going to come out victorious.
Oh yeah, I should feed in all the data in there and see what Chat.
There's too much data. That's the problem, Dave. Even Chat GTP can't.
No, they said this. It's unpredictable. They said unpredictable. All right, Michael Crizzo, Tonio Burton. Congratulations, good moves. Congratulations on the wins, the qualifications for the 2026 Olympia. Who will win Prague? We'll find out next week. Chris, thank you. I hope your parent-teacher conferences went well. Are your children doing well in school?
Yeah, I asked them.
Too much energy?
I asked the 6-year-olds for the math. I asked them to add up 500 plus 100 plus 600. That's the money Derek won.
Oh my God. If you saw some of the math problems that my kids have, I can't even believe that they're doing the stuff that they're doing. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I still think that they're pushing these kids a little too. It's like earlier. They want it earlier and earlier and earlier. I'm like, my daughter's in first grade. She's learning stuff that I didn't learn until third grade.
No.
It's the world we're living in. All you got to do is give them an iPhone and an iPad, and they're going to do very well in life. That's right. That's the only skill. Back when my father used to say the only class you really need to take is typing. If you can type, he goes, then you're going to be very successful. Now you have to know how to use an iPad and an iPhone, and you'll be very successful in life. You ever see these people who film entire movies with their iPhone? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, the quality and the sound, it's like insane. That's, I mean, probably the iPhone is a better camera today than the cameras that they used for movies, 50 years ago.
Oh, of course.
Speaking of which, I'm going to leave you with this, and then we got to go. You got to check out. I think it's on Apple TV. I've been watching it. It's called Mr. Scorsese. It's about Martin Scorsese. It's basically the life that my father wished he would have lived. You got to watch it. It's great. I'm only on episode 2, but it goes through his whole life and how he got into films and making the films that he did, and how he grew up with mafia guys in the street, and that's how he brought it to the screen. And
I'm just gonna say, that was his life experience.
Yes. It's a great series. I mean, they got the guy who was in Mean Streets. The guy he based the character on that Robert De Niro played. They got the real guy. De Niro nailed this guy like you would not believe, and he's still alive, the guy, today, and it's great. Check it out, Mr. Scorsese. And on that note, as we say every week here at Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
We'll see you next week.